as you're getting up off that couch, remember this. Your feelings that you wrote down about, your situation that you are in, don't judge it. Don't judge yourself. Don't go and fetch the big stambok now and just start mooring yourself because you've been feeling meh. No. After journaling about your feelings, after talking to yourself about what you need, after asking yourself these questions, ask yourself just one more question. When was the last time I felt inspired and was able to act in my very best interest? What has changed? You know? And then don't judge it. Accept it. Accept that this is where you're at, that this is what's actually going on. Name it. Name what it is. Maybe it's that change that's happened. Maybe it's the fact that you are working just as much, but you're now working at home and you've got lots more work. Maybe it's that you actually have a bigger load of things to do than you had when we all went to the office. Maybe you just got full of seeing the same four corners. Name it. Put a name to it of the biggest issue that you find. Remember, the biggest issue you're going to identify it by asking yourself, when was the last time I felt that vuma? When I felt, yes, I'm doing it and it's getting done. And then it might not be that you can go back there, but you can possibly replicate it by other means in your life. All I'm asking you to do is to name the situation and don't judge it. And I mean, I want to go back to this thing about it possibly being because of the new normal or your new self that you have that has just slid into your life on this slide while you were looking at the new normal, looking at all the things that are happening outside yourself. You were also busy changing. You were also busy becoming this other person. You know, it can be something as simple as you were always the breadwinner, now not. Sorry for you. What does that mean? This is a new normal for you. And it's a huge new thing. But a lot of times we don't compute it to be this new thing, this new identity I need to step into. So we can feel disoriented. Disorientation can happen when we are suddenly thrust into a new situation with new expectations. Speaking of expectations, wherever possible, make agreements rather than have expectations, because expectations are resentments that have not yet happened. Why? Because expectation means it's not been explicitly spoken about, but somehow by some vacuum we expect that it should happen that way. And a lot of times we've got these expectations of ourselves. Maybe you've just started a new business and you fully expected that in 6 months you should have been up and running, everything should have been top togozi, and it's not. But it's your expectations that put you there. So review what expectations you have got on yourself. Remember, the first step to being good at something is seriously sucking at it. The first step to being genius at something is being terrible at it. But if you keep doing it and getting better and better, moment by moment, day by day, you will start to find your groove. But review your expectations of yourself. What are you expecting? What did you expect was going to happen? What are you expecting now? And then sit down and make agreements with yourself. Agreements with yourself are called commitments. So make commitments to yourself that I'm going to do this and this. It's called minimum acceptable standards. So set up your minimum acceptable standards. For instance, none of us are walking around without brushing our teeth. That's a minimum acceptable standard. Like at the very least, if you do nothing else, you're going to brush your teeth every single day. So guess what? That's a minimum acceptable standard. But in your work, in your interactions with family and things like that, set those. You know, with your family, you're going to have at least one sit-down meal a week together. Right. That's a nice expectation. Is it an agreement? Did you agree with them, or are you just displeased because your expectation was not met? You see, instead of expecting it, maybe make an agreement about what's going to happen. And then go ahead and follow through with that commitment. With yourself as well. Make that commitment to yourself. I'm going to wake up and do X, Y, Z within the first hour of waking up. Make that commitment to yourself and go ahead and do it. And then as you are continuing to do that, celebrate your small wins. Look out for those small wins. When you have been able to reach a small, win, go ahead and celebrate that for yourself. There is a saying that I like very much that says, everyone is a genius in their own way. Yes, I paraphrase very heavily because I like paraphrasing. Here's another one. Stop waiting for your mood to change for you to do the right thing. Most of the things that will make you feel really good don't start out that way. Like, I always say, I like the feeling of having gone to gym. I don't like going to gym. So, but having gone feels awesome. It feels like I'm taking care of myself, I'm investing in my future, I'm looking after my body, all of that. But the thing about it is, I need to do it before I will feel the good. So, guess what? Just getting started, just getting into doing it is a thing worth celebrating. Now, be consistent. Keep getting it done. Even though it doesn't feel good. Sitting there and waiting for our mood to change before we'll do the right thing is like sitting in front of a fireplace and going, give me fire and I'll put in some wood. I have news for you, my friend. It's not going to happen. You got to put in the wood first, and then you're going to get some fire. Just like you have to put in the effort, and then you can get the rewards of it. All right. So get up, do something. Sometimes discipline is what gets us through the times when motivation is lacking. And discipline along with systems. I've seen a nice quote by James Clear that says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So if you've got systems in place to actually like do things in a way that seems like to flow. I made an example earlier about brushing our teeth. Most of us, you wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you have your first pee, you brush your teeth, you come out. Like, it's not even a thing. It's not a thing you think about, it's not a thing you question. It's a system. It's a system. It's small. It looks like we can take it for granted that it's automatic, but it's only automatic because it's a system we implemented and stuck to over a long period of time. And probably, I mean, my son's 17 and I still have to remind him sometimes to brush his teeth. And it may take a while, to get to the point where that system actually is automatic. But your commitment to it is what we call discipline, where you get yourself to do it because you know that it's going to benefit you to have done it. And you just do it even when you don't feel like it. Sometimes we want to do at 100%. Hey, guy, sometimes you just gotta do it, okay? Perfection is the enemy of done. Do it to be done sometimes. Just do it. Just do it, okay? Do it. Just do it, okay? And then when you have done it, you've got that sense of, I'm that person. I can be depended upon. I can depend on myself to show up for myself. That's a great feeling to have about yourself. All right, now let's talk about something else. If you really seriously don't feel like it, you really seriously are struggling. I mean, I'm talking, you have put up the jack under yourself and you have tried to get yourself, you have tried to sing yourself music to inspire you. You have listened to podcasts that say you can do it, and Bona, you are just unable to can. My friend, you are not broken. Your feelings are a real communication device. Your soul speaks to you through your feelings. If if you're in the wrong job, in the wrong relationship, living in the wrong city, being with the wrong people, doing the wrong thing, your feelings will tell you. Sometimes that feeling is an alarm bell for the chronic dissatisfaction that comes with the relentless pressure of doing soul-sucking things and pushing ourselves into spaces and places we no longer belong in. This is something you need to be aware of. If this feeling continues and you've done all of these things, you've become more aware of yourself, you have looked at every angle, and you are just unable to can. And I'm going to give you some steps to look in the mirror and speak to yourself and evaluate what it is that is doing this to you, such that you can unfunk yourself. It's not nice feeling there. It isn't. It is not nice feeling like, really, I couldn't be bothered, like I am not care. It's not nice. We all want to live lives that are vibrant, that, make us feel like, yeah, it's worth something. Me, when I wake up, the world is bright because I'm here. We all want that. And if you're really, really finding it hard to find that, usually it is because there is something in your life that needs a little bit more of your attention, that needs a little bit more of a change, of a shift. Perhaps you have outstayed your welcome in certain places and spaces. And now your soul is like, I'm sorry, I'm just unable to, I refuse now. I'm not going to do it. And you can't make me. So there are ways that we can actually get around that and find ourselves again when we have previously been in a funk. Right. So then, look in the mirror. It's tempting to think of, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. There's no such thing. Those are just words designed to overwhelm you and make you feel like a deer in headlights. That's why we said in the beginning, start with, what do I want today to feel like? What do I want today to feel like? Do I want to feel like the rock star in my own life? Do I want today to feel warm and cozy and loving and sweet? Do I want today to feel like the day I finally snapped it into place? What do I want today to feel like? Sometimes we are stuck because we are thinking too much about everything we have to do. There is this phantom to-do list that's not even a list at all because it's a jumble up of thoughts and obligations. And when you have enough of them there, it starts to feel like a messy workshop. Everything is useful, but it just can't be useful to you right now because it's just sitting in a mess. So in this time, it is important and very useful to revisit your circle of control, concern, and influence. And really just ask yourself, what can I control? What's within my realm of control? And then just jot it down. And then when you're doing that, make a column next to it of the things you can control. And write down what rewards will come with you actively doing something about them, about those things you can control. And then on the last column, this is the third column, write down what will break, what will be lost, what will be wrong forever, or what will go wrong if you don't actually take control of that which you can control. Then you're going to go to the next page and you're going to write what concerns you, what has you just waking up in the middle of the night and it concerns you, but it's not something you can control. What is concerning? What are you concerned about, but are unable to control? These, my friends, are what we call prayer items. You write them down, you put them into your list of, dear Jesus, I am really concerned about this, and you go ahead and pray about them, but you don't continue to hold them in this phantom to-do list of things that could possibly change. No, you're concerned about them, yes, but you can't do anything about them, so let them go. And then there's a third list, which is your circle of influence. Things that you could influence, but certainly they are not in your control. You should probably not even be concerned about them, but you could influence them. Like, I mean, I suppose I am a little bit concerned about America and their elections, but I can neither influence nor control that. But it's in my mind also. It's so big and so wrong, and there's nothing I can do about them, right? So that's the example of that. So revisit your circle of control, concern, and influence, and get very clear about what fits where, right? And then the next thing, and this is going to be a big one, consider your feelings about yourself. I'm going to ask you a question, and it might seem wrong, but go with me. Do you like you right now? Do you like you? It's a tough one, because a lot of times we take for granted that, obvious, I mean, it's me. But the thing about it is that you wouldn't have the if you really were just like, I'm doing the best I can, and I'm showing up in the best ways I know how to, and all of that. If there is something you are critical of yourself about, it can become this nagging feeling that makes your shoulders heavy and your back hurt and your feet absolutely like rocks, and makes it difficult to do anything. Because what is the point? I don't even like myself, you know? So it's a tough question, but please ask yourself, and really just, you know, be bold. We're looking in the mirror, there's nobody else. And maybe a question that can help you with that is there a truth that you are shying away from discussing with yourself? We talked a little bit earlier about these new businesses we've started, so I've had occasion to have to call myself to my office and, you know, sit myself down and say, how's your performance? Are you doing everything that you're supposed to be doing? You know, having that tough conversation with myself so that I actually can properly head-on deal with it, rather than having it lie at the back of my mind where I feel ashamed about something and I'm not talking to myself about it. And here's the last tool I'm going to give you. Consider your current situation. So this is almost like a 360 review of yourself in 4 areas: your health and wellness, your love and relationships, success and money, and your spirituality and purpose. On a scale of 1 to 7, yes, it's an odd number because I don't want you to go, a 5. No, it's not 1 to 10, it's 1 to 7. Measure yourself, your satisfaction level of yourself in your health and wellness, your love and relationships, your success and money, your spirituality and your purpose. Could you pray more? Could you do more things that are in line with your purpose? What is your level of satisfaction where your money and your success are concerned? What is your level of satisfaction with the quality of your relationships and your love situation? What is your level of satisfaction with your bodily health and your wellness? And that speaks to also your wellness practices and things like that. And all of these things speak specifically to the efforts that you are putting in these areas. Those are the 4 areas. Scales 1 to 7. And then zero in on the 1 area or the 2 areas that you want to actually give more attention to. Right. It seems like a lot, right? It does. But the thing about it is that if we are looking in the mirror and we want to actually create a life that is fulfilling, that we are joyful to live and proud to create, then it does take some work into getting ourselves unstuck. All of these things that I've mentioned from the beginning of the show right up until now, everything can be done while you are sitting there. So like, if all you can do is just like watch this video and do the things that I'm recommending that you do, I promise you, you will be showing up for yourself. My next question for you is, what gives you the feeling that you are stuck? Of these things, your health and wellness, your love and relationships, your success and money, spirituality and purpose, what of those things is giving you this feeling that I'm stuck? And while you're at it, is there any place where you feel trapped? And lastly, what help do you need? And my friend, why aren't you asking for that help? All right. In conclusion, being in a funk is not a permanent thing. It's not something that happens to us for long and all of that. And I think we've established that being in a funk is not the same as living in flow. We talked about that a few weeks ago. It can be changed. And just because there are situations in your life that cause you to be kind of in between situations, doesn't mean that you need to be stuck in a situation, that you need to be in a funk within yourself, that you need to be feeling like there's no point to anything. Okay? We'll all go through rough times. The best defense of being in a funk is to become self-aware without judgment. The second best defense to being in a funk is to take yourself out from your 72-inch screen. Some of us are too stuck in our own situation that we are all about ourselves, so self-consumed, so self-centered. No, friend, that's not self-care, that's self-destruction, because now you are seeing every mole and every mistake about yourself because you are your own center of attention. Allowing ourselves to live in the flow and creating a life in which we can be present with ourselves and kind to ourselves in those times that we need it most is so important. One of the best antidotes for feeling meh is having a purpose and being of service to others. When we feel that our lives have meaning, oh, what joy it brings to us. This has been The Soul Dive. My name is Lebo. I thank you so much for tuning in. It is absolutely, absolutely a privilege and an honor to be able to be with you in this way. Please remember that we are here still. We do lives every Tuesday, but we also actually, we are here for comments and all of that. We do have a group. If you have not yet joined our group, it is Soul Dive with Lebo right here on Facebook. We still have these wonderful earrings from Black Eba Crafts. For those of you, if you share and comment and like this video, you stand a chance to win a pair of these. They are handmade by Black Eba Crafts, which you will find right here on Facebook as well. And of course, if you haven't seen mine, they've got my name on it, so you can have personalized ones as well. So go ahead, share, comment, like, tell someone. If you want to show love and support for our show, this is how you do it. Thank you so much. It's been the Soul Dive. Thank you for tuning in. Mwah.